As such, Sophie said no more, allowing him to carry her inside. When Isabel saw that Sophie was in good hands with her uncle, she felt at ease. Honestly speaking, I'm not worried about leaving with you tomorrow. With Uncle Tristan around, no one can ever bully Sophie. Sophie had always been her primary concern. Mr. Tristan will never let Sophie suffer any grievances. Who would dare to give Mr. Tristan's most beloved woman a hard time? Let's go and have dinner, then rest early. We've got a long-haul flight tomorrow, added Felix. It would take a long time for them to fly to Jipsdale. Okay. Sophie got back to the bedroom, only to realize that Tristan had already prepared some comfortable clothing for her. Go get changed. We'll have dinner in a little bit. Isabel and the lot are leaving tomorrow, so we'll all dine together tonight. A farewell dinner was in place. All right. Felix had already spent a long time there, so it was time for him to return home. Moreover, a plethora of things needing his attention had been lined up for him at Northley Group. It will probably take some time to build things up over here. It was impossible to establish a new system of governance through one competition. Hence, Tristan and Sophie were expected to stay back longer. I'll resolve all matters as soon as possible and then return to prepare for our wedding. Tristan could not wait any longer, even though the occasion was still several months away. There's no rush. I'll stay here with you until everything is resolved, and then we'll head back together. Anyway, Bertram can't handle so many things here by himself. Go ahead and get yourself changed then. He led her to the bedside before leaving the room, waiting outside like a gentleman. Sophie could not take a bath due to her menstruation, so she took a brief shower, changed her clothes, and went out. As Isabel and the others were leaving the following day, the dinner prepared that night was very scrumptious. After witnessing how Sophie carried herself earlier, the men at the base started addressing her by her name upon seeing her. Those guys had always admired the strong. At first, they felt that a beautiful girl like Sophie was not good enough for Tristan. However, that thought disappeared the moment they saw what she did that day. Her actions had silenced all discussions about her being unworthy of Tristan. Sophie is definitely deserving of Mr. Tristan. At present, she had totally become their goddess. 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 Isabel's lips curled into a smile when she saw that everyone adored Sophie. As expected, our dear Sophie is the shining star wherever she goes. Bertram was the one who cheered the loudest. Sophie had been so amazing that even the guys who had been around for the longest time couldn't help but hand it to her. Shortly after, Tristan gestured for everyone to stop, and the crowd immediately quietened down. As much as they liked Sophie, they had to show Tristan the respect he deserved, for he was their boss. Sit down and enjoy your meal, guys. Those people had never been served a proper dish from their hometown since the very day they arrived at the base. Once the guys sat down, Tristan and Sophie took their seats too. Bertram then poured a glass of warm water for Sophie. Ms. Tanner, I'd like to propose a toast to you. There aren't a lot of people that I, Bertram Asher, admire in this world, but I must say that you're one of them. Yes, it's true. He poured warm water for her but got himself a glass of whiskey that he had saved for ages. In fact, he had to use some tricks to get that bottle of whiskey back then. You flatter me, Bert. What I did today was just all right. It wasn't that exceptional. Sophie, if there's anything you need in the future, feel free to let me know directly. I'll do anything for you without question, the man stated excitedly. Sure. It's a deal, my friend, replied Sophie. Bertram and the guys were very fond of her, and likewise, she enjoyed hanging out with them too because they did not have an ulterior motive and made her feel at ease. Have a safe journey, Mr. Northley. I'm sorry that you had to go through so much because of me this time. Bertram was still a little guilty, for Tristan had asked him to take care of Felix, yet untoward events happened. Felix waved a hand, saying, What are you talking about? We're all comrades. Nobody wanted things like that to happen. Moreover, I was captured because I wasn't vigilant to begin with. I'll pay you a visit and have another drink once the matters over here are resolved. Bertram had always been a frank and sincere person. He enjoyed the company of Felix and the rest too. After Sophie took a sip of warm water, her lower abdomen felt so much better. Just like any other typical girl during her menstrual period, she would experience. Due to the same reason, Tristan frowned upon seeing the food on the table. They were all too spicy and not suitable for her to eat. Hence, he personally went and requested the chef to prepare several other blander dishes. It was not until the chef came to serve the newly prepared dishes that Sophie found out what he had done behind her back earlier. This man is really so sweet and thoughtful. She held his hand and said, "Thank you. There's no need for you to say those 2 words to me. What I want to hear are another 3 special words. Oh, I love you." Although Tristan knew she was just playing dumb, he still chose to declare his love for her in the most straightforward manner. He had never felt a need to beat around the bush when it came to expressing his love for her. "I love you too," she replied right away, knowing that was what he wanted to hear. "Gee, Mr. Tristan, can you two stop your public displays of affection? We're setting off tomorrow, so kindly offer us a glance," teased Felix. "What's there to look at about you? I've been seeing your face for more than 3 decades now. I'm sick of it," Tristan jested. Subsequently, he scooped some food for Sophie. "Eat more to replenish your energy." Everyone dug in merrily. Felix could not drink alcohol yet, but Isabel drank quite a bit. After all, she was never a pretentious woman. When they woke up the next day, it was almost time to depart. After washing up, Isabel went to look for Sophie. "Sophie, I'm leaving soon. Take good care of yourself here, okay?" She was still concerned, for the place was filled with men. Sophie flung her arms open and hugged Isabel. "Don't worry. You know me well. I'm able to adapt wherever I am. You and Felix must be good to each other when you're back home. Please don't fight anymore. It's not easy for 2 people to be together." I know." With that came the time to leave. Felix was already waiting outside. After Sophie walked Isabel out, the latter entered the car and rolled down the window. "Uncle Tristan, you must take good care of Sophie, understood?" reminded Isabel. "You must not bully her, or else I dash." "Okay, that's enough. Stop spewing nonsense, and get going. Hurry up and leave with Felix," grumbled Tristan. "Why is this young lady so long-winded when she's not even married yet?" Once again, Isabel was dismissed, but she simply rolled her eyes and shrugged it off. She would tolerate Tristan's impatience as long as everyone was well. Felix might have come alone, but he left with another person. That pleased him immensely. Even though Isabel had been away for some time, TS Entertainment never pressured her to return. Being best friends with the boss had its perks, and it was awesome. "I need to work harder once I get back," she vowed. Having neglected her work for a while, she realized it was time to recommit herself to her professional endeavors. I'll support you whatever your decision is as long as you're happy," Felix told her. "Felix, I'll do my best to spend more time with you from now on. Singing holds great significance in my life, but so do you. I want you to understand that." "I know." Meanwhile, Sophie and Tristan were having breakfast when Bertram brought someone into the house. It was Arthur's grandson, whose face was smeared with blood. "What's going on?" Sophie asked in startlement. "Carl is dead, isn't he? What happened to Mr. Camage and the others?" "Ms. Tanner, my grandpa sent me here to seek help. Lily Sanders has brought a group of men to besiege us, and many have died." "What?" She blew her top, regretting her decision to spare Lily's life. "Come on. Let's head there now." Sophie immediately gathered her forces, ready to leave. Seeing that, Tristan tagged along as well. When they arrived at Arthur's village, Lily and her men were indeed there. "Lily wants us to support her, but my grandfather refused to comply, so she physically assaulted him. At Grandpa's age, how could he possibly withstand the blow?" Arthur's grandson wailed on the way there. It's all right. With me around, no one will dare to bully you guys. I promise those who did will face dire consequences. Sophie was the first one to barge into the house. Upon seeing her, Lily let out a scornful snort, amused by the woman's audacity. Oh wow, isn't this Ms. Tanner? What a coincidence, Lily said fearlessly. Having mingled in Fandar for so long, she harbored no fear, not even in the presence of Tristan, let alone someone in her salad days like Sophie. Lily Sanders, they are innocent. What are you doing this for? Sophie demanded icily when she saw Arthur lying on the ground with a gaping head wound. Innocent. Yeah, they are. I never claimed they weren't, did I? Lily retorted with a gun in her hands. Ha! Sophie sneered, knowing it was pointless to say anything else. She strode over to Arthur and asked worriedly, Mr. Camage, are you okay? Are you still conscious? Right then, Tristan came in with his men. Lily's eyes lit up when she saw him, for she had gone to great lengths to capture his attention. The man narrowed his gaze upon taking in the circumstances. This Lily Sanders seriously has a death wish. Since she's courting death, I shall just grant her wish. Mr. Tristan, what brings you here? I'm merely handling some trivial matters in Fandar. Why do you guys seem so bothered? Lily Sanders, you don't seem to remember what I said before, huh? He questioned frostily. That's not true, Mr. Tristan. I remember every word you've ever said. You're aware of my desire to have you all to myself, right? If you agree to be with me, I'll do whatever you say, Lily declared, leaving no room for ambiguity regarding her intentions. In fact, she was telling the truth. Her love for Tristan was undeniable, and she had no intention of concealing her true feelings. Arthur spoke up in a weak voice. Ms. Tanner, I'm fine. Don't worry. Lily is. Sophie patted him in comfort on the back. Rest assured. We'll deal with Lily. I promise she won't be able to behave this insolently ever again. After confirming that Arthur only sustained superficial injuries, she summoned his grandson to take care of him. Keep an eye on your grandpa. Don't touch his wounds. I'll dress them personally later, she instructed. Got it, Ms. Tanner, Arthur's grandson agreed readily. He had complete trust in Sophie and was willing to follow her orders without hesitation. Upon hearing Lily's declaration, Bertram couldn't help but let out a scoff. Seriously? I can't believe how shameless this woman is. Lily Sanders, who the hell do you think you are? How dare you set your sights on Mr. Tristan? He couldn't believe the audacity of Lily to declare her love for Tristan, knowing full well that Tristan was already engaged to someone else. Bertram, this is between Mr. Tristan and me. You're merely his servant. It isn't your place to comment about our relationship. You dash. It was the first time someone had so blatantly disrespected Bertram. How dare she call me a servant? This damned woman. What a snob. Bertram, don't waste time talking to her. Just take her down. I want her handed over to Mr. Camage and the others, Sophie ordered. Someone with a death wish. Lily had inflicted harm upon Arthur and the rest, so it was only fitting that they get to deal with her. Sophie Tanner, how naive of you to think I'd come here unprepared, Lily ridiculed. As soon as those words left her mouth, a crowd of men emerged outside the house. It was clear that she intended to ambush Sophie and the rest. Lily flashed a smug smile. Mr. Tristan, I genuinely like you, so I kept giving you chances. What do you think of me? I'm being sincere here. If you agree to submit to me, I can give you anything you want. The woman wasn't lying when she claimed to truly like Tristan. Such had always been her style. She would do anything to get every man she fancied in her bed. Dream on, Tristan responded in an exceptionally cold tone. Does she really think her victory is assured? Alas, if you're going to be so stubborn, I suppose I'll have to resort to more persuasive methods. Fine. Since you insist on playing games, I don't mind playing along, she said. Since he prefers exciting stuff. I'll gladly accommodate him. It's more fun this way. Trying to take my man? Not in a million years. Sophie stepped forward with unwavering determination in her gaze. She had never been one to back down or be intimidated by anyone. She got her men to hide Arthur and the others somewhere safe while she remained here with the rest. They might be outnumbered, but Bertram and the others showed no fear. There was no need for them to be scared when Tristan and Sophie were unfazed. Mr. Tristan, won't you consider my offer? Do you really want to do this the hard way? Lily queried. She genuinely believed that she would come up on top in this altercation. Since you're so eager to meet your demise, I can oblige right now instead of prolonging the inevitable, Tristan hissed, his voice dripping with fury. Lily had crossed a line by provoking him, so he had no intention of showing mercy anymore. Right after he spoke, a team of highly skilled bodyguards materialized in front of them. Their swift arrival caught Lily off guard, leaving her bewildered at their sudden appearance. It was clear to her that these formidable bodyguards possessed skills far beyond what she had anticipated, each one capable of overpowering 10 opponents with ease. She belatedly realized that her men were no match for these bodyguards. Narrowing her gaze, she scrutinized the man standing in front of her. Who are you exactly? It dawned on Lily that an ordinary person could never afford to train so many highly skilled bodyguards. That isn't important. What's important is that you'll meet your doom today. Tristan couldn't be bothered to spare her a glance again. We are totally capable of crushing Lily, so there's no need to worry at all. Capture her alive, he ordered his bodyguards. Yes, Mr. Tristan. In a flash, both parties engaged in an intense shooting while Bertram's responsibility was to protect Arthur and the rest. In the face of overwhelmingly powerful opponents, Lily's men were taken down in less than 10 minutes. To her dismay, she had entirely become a sitting duck. The moment Lily attempted to escape, Sophie shot the former in the leg. Lily collapsed to the ground, overcome with despair. When she mustered the strength to look back, she locked eyes with Sophie's piercing, icy blue ones. Damn it! This Sophie is seriously infuriating. Ms. Sanders, her subordinates called out in desperation. Sadly, there was nothing they could do. Under the false presumption of their own strength, they inadvertently offended someone who proved to be 100 times more formidable than they could ever imagine. Clear the scene, Sophie instructed Bertram. He nodded and immediately got to work. The majority of the wounded and casualties were members of Lily's own forces. Then, Lily was taken to Tristan and Sophie. She was beginning to feel a twinge of regret at the sight of them. I truly shouldn't have provoked these two people. Mr. Tristan, please forgive me. Can you spare my life? If you do, I'm prepared to relinquish everything I possess in Fandar. Her fleeting hope had been overshadowed by the realization of the vast disparity between her and Tristan. After all, only an individual of considerable influence and power could afford to employ such skilled bodyguards. Spare your life. Lily Sanders, we already gave you a chance at the competition. You shouldn't have come all the way here to harm Mr. Camage and the rest. Sophie snapped. There was no way she'd spare Lily's life. Lily felt utterly helpless as despair clawed her throat. That's enough. You should attend to Mr. Camage's wounds now, Tristan told Sophie, aware of her concern for Arthur. Sophie was in a hurry to tend to Arthur's wound and didn't want to waste time talking to Lily. Mr. Tristan, I'm truly willing to give up everything if you agree to spare my life, Lily implored desperately. The prospect of perishing here left her utterly devoid of hope. Bertram, tie her up there. Yes, Mr. Tristan. Bertram commanded his men to bind Lily tightly to an iron pole. The sun blazed fiercely that day, intensifying Lily's torment without any additional effort required from them. After she was tied up, Tristan asserted, keep an eye on her. If she manages to escape, you all will suffer the consequences. He would never forgive anyone who provoked Sophie. Mr. Tristan. Lily screamed in hopelessness. Bertram kicked her wounded leg and warned, stop yelling. Ms. Tanner is the apple of Mr. Tristan's eye. Do you really think he'll let you off easy after you offend her? Bertram, please let me go. If you do so, I can offer you anything you desire, be it money or status. Hal, the man sniggered. I can't believe she's still trying to make me defect to her at this moment. People like you will never understand. I'll never betray Mr. Tristan. So, enjoy your time here. I can already envision the dreadful fate that awaits you. Bertram could still remember what happened to Carl and the others. In the bedroom, Sophie was currently tending to Arthur's wounds. Lily had shown him no mercy, leaving him severely battered and bruised, albeit the wounds were merely superficial. Ms. Tanner, I assure you, I'm fine. There's no need to worry, he reassured Sophie upon noticing her solemnness. I'm sorry, Mr. Camage. It was my fault for mishandling the situation, leading to your injury. Had I dealt with Lily earlier, these things wouldn't have occurred today. Ms. Tanner, how can it be your fault? This is the norm in this area. Those who seek to exert dominion will always attempt to oppress us. Arthur knew this genuinely had nothing to do with Sophic. Your injuries are superficial, but please make sure to avoid consuming any alcohol for the time being. Zen, remember, don't allow your grandpa to have any alcohol, got it? She instructed Zen Camage, Arthur's grandson. Zen nodded profusely. Don't worry, Ms. Tanner. I'll monitor him. He had always admired Sophie and would never go against her word. Good. Mr. Camage, I've already captured Lily Sanders. You guys can do anything you want with her. Sophie told Arthur. Thank you, Ms. Tanner, the man replied weakly. Get some rest, then. I'll come visit you tomorrow. Okay. Tristan had also entered the room. Seeing that Arthur was fine, he ultimately said nothing. Sophie then stood up and left with him. How do you plan to deal with Lily Sanders? He inquired. Mr. Camage will decide her fate. Before he does that, leave 2 bodyguards here, came her reply. This time, they would never let her escape. Got it. Meanwhile, the bigwigs had congregated. That Mr. Tristan is no ordinary person. Lily Sanders is seriously doomed this time. What do you all think? Should we submit to them? Let's just observe for now. It seems that Mr. Tristan intends to exert dominance over all of us. We're uncertain of his true capabilities yet, but his ease in overpowering Lily suggests he must be an incredibly formidable individual. Agreed. It is crucial that we stand united this time. If we engage in separate battles, we will undoubtedly face a disastrous defeat. You're right. No matter what, we need to protect our own interests. After all, they had gathered here for the sake of money. In the base's conference room, a large screen displayed the information of the rest of the bigwigs. If Tristan and Sophie intended to establish a new order here, they'd have to get rid of those people. Mr. Tristan, I've gathered all the available data on these individuals, Bertram reported, showcasing his diligence during his time here. All right, got it. For our next step, let's think about how to get rid of these people. Sophie was also present in the conference room, and Bertram's laptop was placed in front of her. Bertram initially wanted to ask Sophie for her opinion. As the latter's performance had been outstanding recently, he had unknowingly become increasingly dependent on her. However, when he saw her playing computer games so seriously, he chose not to bother her and ended up sharing his own thoughts instead. Tristan listened attentively as Bertram spoke. After working under Tristan for such a long time, Bertram had become rather apt at handling such matters and had his own thoughts on how things should be done. However, as it was the first time Tristan asked Bertram to put together a plan, it was inevitable for the latter to feel somewhat nervous. After Bertram finished speaking, Tristan finally nodded and said, "Not bad, you've improved a lot. Let's go ahead with what you have proposed, but be careful when you're up against them. Don't get hurt. It would be difficult to avoid injuries when dealing with those big shots. However, if there was a better way to approach them, that would be the best." Just then, new messages appeared on the screen. It was Sophie who projected them. Let's take a look at these messages first. I believe they would be of great use to us. Bertram gaped in disbelief when he saw the messages containing the dark secrets of the big shots. Wasn't she playing computer games? How did she dig out all this juicy information within less than 20 minutes? Besides, the contents are all so shocking. With this information, those guys would have no choice but to do as we say. Sophie pointed to her head and said, "But, no matter what we attempt to do, we should always use our brains a little. It would make our work much easier." Bertram nodded, agreeing with her words. Indeed, a lot of time could be saved if we just use our brains a little. Just give me a call if you need any help next time. Sophie only said that because she genuinely saw the potential in Bertram. Yup, I will. Ms. Tanner, you're indeed very capable. Tristan glanced at Sophie, amazed at her hacking capabilities. It would not be an overstatement to say that her skills were unmatched. Ms. Tanner, have you heard of Wings of Light? Asked Bertram. Ms. Tanner's skills certainly seem to be on par with Phantom from Wings of Light. How is it possible that Wings of Light did not try to recruit her? What's Wings of Light? It's my first time hearing about it, Sophie replied while shutting the laptop. You guys can carry on talking. My eyes are tired. I'm going out to take a break. Sophie stood up and walked away after she finished speaking. She wasn't interested in such matters. Besides, she had already done whatever she could to help. Mr. Tristan, do you think Ms. Tanner could actually be Phantom? Phantom's gender is not known, as no one has seen them before. But judging by Ms. Tanner's skills, she could very well be Phantom. Just focus on what you need to do and stop being a busybody. None of that mattered to Tristan. Most importantly, she was now his woman, and he did not care about any of her past identities. They meant nothing to him. Right after Sophie walked out, she received a call from Arius. Knowing that she was busy, Arius had not contacted her for some time. During this time, he had been trying to solve the internal problems that the medical association was having. What's wrong? Said Sophie as she answered the call. I've finally gotten a moment to take a break. Is this going to be about another problem? I haven't even rested yet. Am I only allowed to call you when there's something wrong? Am I not allowed to miss you? Geez, this girl is so practical. I'm hanging up if there's nothing important. I still have other things to take care of. Sophie certainly had no time for idle chit-chat. Wait, don't hang up. I do have something to tell you. So, I've encountered a problem lately, and I haven't been able to solve it. I was hoping that you can take a look when you're free. By the way, aren't Isabel and Felix back already? What else are you busy with over there? Since Felix has already been found, why isn't Sophie back yet? Is she having that much fun in Fandar? See, I knew you had an agenda for calling me. Sophie knew all that talk about missing her was trash. How could you say that? Shouldn't we exchange some pleasantries before diving into the main topic? It doesn't seem too polite to go straight to the point, right? Okay. Just send me the details. However, I don't have adequate resources here to conduct proper experiments, so I might not be of much help. Certain conditions had to be present in order to carry out a scientific study, and Sophie was not even equipped with the most basic setting. You can take a look at it first. I'm not in a rush. It's for a research I've been conducting lately. If you're not able to solve it there, we can wait for you to come back. Arius was aware that Fandar did not have the best research facilities. Okay, that's all, right? Just send me whatever you have then. That's all. But when are you guys coming back? You've been gone for so long. Why would I miss you? There's so much work to do here at the Medical Association. You should come back soon to share Georgina's workload. You can help out if it pains you to see her working so hard. You're more than capable of solving any issues that the Medical Association has. Dr. Smith has appointed you as his successor. How could you push such a huge responsibility to Georgina? What kind of a friend are you? Sophie remained silent and did not even want to respond regarding this matter. She was only responsible for conducting experiments and wanted nothing to do with the management of the medical association. After all, she was already busy enough. Okay, I'm hanging up now. Just come back as soon as you can. Dr. Smith has been asking about you a lot, Aureus finally said. Everyone was worried about Sophie, as Fandar was a dangerous place to be in. Shouldn't you guys know me very well by now? What kind of danger could I possibly be in? Don't worry, I'll be fine. By the way, how are Simon and Sandra doing? Do you think they have potential? They're doing fine. Let's observe them for a little while longer. They've shown great improvement, but I think we should give it more time. Entering the medical association was not an easy feat, as the organization only accepted top talents. Sure. Since I'm not around, please look out for them. Don't let others bully them. As they were recruited by Sophie, she did not want them to be taken advantage of by others. Don't worry. Your friends are my friends too. I treat them really well. Besides, I'm swamped with work recently. They can help me with it. With me guiding them, they would have no problem passing the evaluation. After Sophie hung up, she saw Tristan coming out as well. With him around, no problem would be too difficult to solve. The current plan was for Bertram to lead a team of men to settle the problem. If he was unable to resolve the issue, the two of them would step in and help. Who were you talking to? It's Aureus. He has encountered some problems and needs my help. Sophie received a message from Aureus right after their call ended. After checking the details, she could see that it was indeed a novel problem that required some time to solve. Okay. We will be heading back in a few days. Tristan was worried about leaving Bertram there alone. Thus, he planned to return after taking care of the matters in Fandar. Don't worry. There's nothing much to do even if we go back. Currently, with Victor and Xandra managing Tanner Group and TS Entertainment respectively, both organizations were operating smoothly. With their two trustable subordinates holding the fort, the couple did not have anything to worry about. Okay. Meanwhile, Felix and Isabel had gotten off the plane. After being in Fandar for many days, Isabel felt that even the air in Chon-Aea felt fresher than before. Felix, I realized that Chon-Aea is still my favorite place in the world. I'm happy doing anything as long as I'm here. Even though they had been through some exciting times in Fandar, she still felt most at ease in her own country. You're right. Jipsdale is truly a nice place too. After all, it was comforting for them to be somewhere they were familiar with. However, the moment they exited the airport, Isabel noticed something amiss. A huge crowd of reporters had gathered outside. Moreover, the couple was holding hands, and the reporters had already started taking pictures of them. What's going on? Why are there so many reporters? No one was supposed to know that Isabel was returning from Fandar that day. Felix wanted to let go of her hand. He knew how important her singing career was to her, and for a female celebrity, having a boyfriend would mean losing fans. However, this time, Isabel did not loosen her grip. Tightening her grip, she looked at him and said resolutely, "Felix, I've already told you. From now on, we will be together no matter what happens." Since they had already decided to be with each other, it did not matter to Isabel if they were photographed by reporters or if her fans stopped supporting her because of that. All she ever wanted to do was sing. She did not aspire to be an idol. As such, she did not mind losing popularity as long as her man was by her side. Felix was touched to hear that. He realized that his woman had really matured. Previously, she would always act in a cautious manner in front of the media, but now, she was openly holding his hand in the presence of the reporters. He loved the feeling and was savoring it. Isabel, I will never let you down. From now on, we have to stay together no matter what challenges we might face in the future. Yes. Just then, the reporters swarmed over and asked, Ms. Lombard, what's your relationship with Mr. Northley? Is he your boyfriend? You've been away for quite some time. Is it also because of Mr. Northley? Mr. Northley, Are you intending to marry Ms. Lombard? Or are you just dating her for fun? Confronted with a barrage of questions, Felix was initially intending to ignore the reporters, but when he heard the suggestion that he was dating Isabel for fun, he halted in his tracks and swept a cold gaze at the reporter who asked that question. Although the reporter was not aware of the mistake he had made, he could not help but shudder when he sensed Felix's cool vibe. I'm serious about her. I have always been. She's going to be the future mistress of Northley Group. I know she loves singing. I respect that and will fully support her. However, I will not allow anyone to bully her. This was the woman he would sacrifice his life for. It sounded ridiculous to him that someone would even think that he was dating her just for fun. Isabel was beaming from ear to ear when she heard that. That's my man. She never had to worry about his feelings for her. Hi everyone, I would like to use this opportunity to introduce my boyfriend, Felix Northley, to my fans. We are currently in a stable and loving relationship. I can understand if any of you stop supporting me because of this, but please don't say anything nasty about him because he's the most wonderful man I know. It did not matter to her if her popularity dipped. If her fans stopped liking her because she was attached, it would mean that they did not like her because of her singing skills in the first place. If they did not appreciate her talent, they could not be considered real fans anyway. Indeed, the news of Isabel dating broke the hearts of countless male fans. Damn. Who's this Felix Northley? He doesn't deserve to be with our little fairy. Little fairy, please don't. Look at me. I'm the destined one for you. Exactly. This Mr. Northley is not even handsome. More importantly, he looks so old. He's so much older than our little fairy. That won't do. Are you guys kidding? Do you really not know who Felix Northley is? Just search for Northley Group. It's one of the 4 largest corporations in Chennai EA. How could you guys not know? So what if he's rich? Little fairy belongs to us. Do you think she's really in love with him? She's just together with him for his money. Haha. How is that possible? Don't you know little fairy's family background? Her family owns Lombard Group. Lombard Group. Is she really related to the family that owns Lombard Group? Felix felt a flicker of irritation when he saw those comments, but there was nothing he could do about it. Being a singer meant that Isabel was also a public figure. Besides, there are all kinds of netizens, and they were free to say what they wanted. Xandra called Isabel immediately when she saw the news, feeling surprised that the latter had decided to publicize her relationship. Xandra, I know I will lose quite a number of fans by doing so, but I want to give Felix a sense of security. That's why I decided to make our relationship public. After all, it was not reasonable to expect her to stay single forever. After a pause, Isabel carried on. But please don't worry. I will continue to put effort into my singing. Being recognized as a good singer is more important to me than being liked as an idol. All right. I understand. As long as you are sure, the company will definitely support you all the way. Xandra genuinely understood. After all, Isabel was a singer, and she had never wanted to be an idol. Hence, it would not be a big deal even if her fanbase decreased after the announcement. She just had to focus on singing, and more people would notice her talent sooner or later. Xandra, thanks for your understanding. After hanging up, Xandra called Sophie, who expressed her support for Isabel's decision. Since the boss had already made her stand clear, as an employee, Xandra did not think her opinion would matter anyway. All she had to do was handle the fans and try to appease them. Meanwhile, William, who also saw the news, let out a long sigh. Dad, why are you sighing? They make a good couple, don't they? Besides, we already know Felix very well. More importantly, he loves Isabel wholeheartedly. Her happiness is all that matters. The rest was really not important. Age was not a factor as well. What else can I say? None of you is going to listen to an old man like me anyway. There was nothing William could do but accept it. However, his head started aching at the thought of their complicated relationship. Just then, Isabel and Felix arrived. Grandpa, I really, really like Felix. He's the only one for me. You're the person I love most, so I hope to get your blessings, Isabel said determinedly. She would not separate with Felix no matter what. Would anything I say matter given the current state of things? Isabel, remember this. I just want you to be happy. Thanks, Grandpa. You're the best. Isabel embraced William before continuing. You can't bully Felix as well, okay? I'll be upset if you do that. William glanced at Felix. When have I ever bullied him? Why don't you ask him? Felix's strong survival instinct kicked in as he listened to William's words. He immediately shook his head. No. Old Mr. Lombard likes me the most, so why would he bully me? He never has. That's more like it. By the way, when are your Uncle Tristan and Sophie coming back? The wedding is only a few months away. Shouldn't they return and start preparing for it? I want to help, but they don't like it if I meddle in their business. Grandpa, don't worry. Uncle Tristan knows what he's doing. He loves Sophie so much, so he wouldn't skimp on their wedding. Besides, even if he isn't in the country, Uncle Tristan has been closely following the progress of the wedding preparations. All right. You must be tired from your trip to Fandar. Go back and take a few days to rest. Don't busy yourself with work as soon as you come back. One's health is one's most important asset. What good would it do to swamp yourself with work all the time? All right. I got it, Grandpa. Isabel was exceptionally obedient that day as she didn't want to worry anyone. I should take my leave now. My parents are also worried about me since I haven't been home for such a long time. That was even more so after something as significant as that happened to him. Okay. You should go back now. William could fathom how Felix's parents must felt. Instead of going back to his own home upon returning to the country, Felix came here first. What else can I say to that? I'll see you off. Isabel swiftly stood up from the couch. Felix had sent her home when he should have gone back to his own house first. After all, his parents were worried sick about him. William could only sigh, looking at their retreating figures from behind. Dad, Felix is actually not a bad guy. You've watched him grow up too, so shouldn't you feel at ease to let him be with Isabel? Yes. That's his only virtue. All I hope now is for Isabel to be happy. It's fine as long as he doesn't mistreat her. Don't worry. We're all here, so who would dare to bully Isabel? Everyone in the family doted on Isabel, after all. Isabel was still reluctant to part ways with Felix even when they got outside. Off you go. Call me when you get home. Okay. I'll call you as soon as I'm home. Don't worry. Rest at home for a couple of days. You don't need to return to work in such a rush. I got it. Stop nagging me. By the way, Sean and the others invited us for dinner tonight. I'll pick you up later. Felix had nearly escaped death. The moment he stepped out of the plane, Sean contacted him. Okay. I'll wait for you at home. Isabel was overjoyed at the thought that they could meet again that night. Felix hugged her. After sending Felix off, Isabel returned to the house to unpack her luggage. She no longer regarded the current circumstances where the number of her followers dropped as a big deal. At night, everyone gathered at Blossom Garden to have their dinner without Tristan and Sophie. When will Mr. Tristan and Sophie come back? It feels incomplete without them. They'll be back soon. With Mr. Tristan on the case, the issues should be resolved in no time. You have a point. So, have you two made up now? After such a drama, everyone reckoned Felix and Isabel must have reconciled. Yes. You all saw the news, didn't you? Isabel wrapped her arms around Felix's with a contented expression on her face. Okay. That's good. You should treat Felix better in the future, Isabel. Otherwise, he might get depressed and go looking for trouble. There wasn't any need for him to suffer such torment in the first place. That's enough. Why are we talking about this now? We're doing fine, so stop worrying. Felix couldn't stand anyone criticizing Isabel. Not even a single berating remark was allowed. All right. We know you're very protective of her. We'll keep our mouths shut. Let's just eat. Felix had always been like that, forbidding anyone from saying a single bad thing about Isabel, even if she had made him suffer plenty of grievances. Who should I defend if not my own girlfriend? Isabel is the woman I love the most, so I can't bear to see her be aggrieved. That's right. Everything you say is correct. We have no objections, but if you get bullied and cry in the future, don't come to us to drown your sorrows, Charles uttered in annoyance. Regardless of how much they love their woman, they should still live by their set of principles. What's wrong with them? Why are all of them becoming like this in front of the women they love? Charles, you don't understand love, Felix retorted straightforwardly. Fine. If you say I don't understand, then I don't. Can we leave it at that? Charles was genuinely stumped. That's enough. Can't we just enjoy a meal peacefully since we've finally reunited? Sean spoke up, finding their bickering truly annoying. Meanwhile at Fandar, everything progressed smoothly after Bertram received the things from Sophie. He was able to deal with those big shots in no time. The big shots were enraged but couldn't do a thing about it since Bertram had dirt on them. As a result, they didn't dare to say anything and could only yield. In the past, the big shots were extremely arrogant, but all of them fell silent now. Bertram was pleased with the outcome. Ms. Tanner is indeed a genius. There isn't any problem that couldn't be solved as long as she's around. Having resolved another big shot, Bertram walked with a spring in his step. It had been a long time since he had felt that way. This is so exhilarating. Ms. Tanner, you're really amazing. You're the most incredible person I've ever met. Bertram couldn't help but lavish praise upon seeing Sophie. Ms. Tanner's hacking skills are indeed exceptional. I can compliment her for days on this subject alone. I'm glad you find the information useful. Sophie always knew the most effective and fastest way to straighten out a problem. However, you need to be more careful. These people are no pushovers. If they were really exasperated, those big shots might no longer hold back and retaliate with all their might. At that moment, Bertram regarded Sophie as the most important person in his life, and merely greeted Tristan without much admiration at that point. It seems like I've become irrelevant. All they care about is you now, Tristan said with a sigh. His fiancée was simply too outstanding, and seemed to be able to captivate everyone in everything she did, unknowingly drawing the attention of all those around her. So, I feel this is great. At the very least, the person you like is me, right? Tristan thought that was an extremely wonderful feeling. Yes, Sophie replied. They didn't need to get involved in the matters there as Bertram could handle it all. Therefore, the couple treated their stay there as a vacation. There was nothing special that needed to be done either. The matters here should be sorted out within a few days. Who do you plan to have taken over here? Even if they had established order there, someone had to oversee. Do you have any suitable candidates in mind? He actually wanted Bertram to stay. After all, Bertram was the one who established the place. It was only natural to have him stay and manage everything. In short, Bertram was the most suitable candidate. Sophie nodded in agreement. I also think Bert is a great choice. In my opinion, Zen is really talented, and I hope he can learn from Bert. Arthur was getting older, and he couldn't protect them forever. Hence, Zen had to mature fast. Tristan nodded too. Why don't you discuss this with Bertram yourself? I'm all right with it if he has no objections. In truth, he knew that Bertram would definitely agree. That was why he didn't say much. All right, I understand. Sophie could only find peace of mind once she had taken care of all the affairs concerning Arthur and the rest, allowing her to finally unwind and return. When Bertram returned that night, he was somewhat surprised to find Sophie waiting for him at the doorstep. Ms. Tanner, is there something you need from me? You can just call me instead of waiting here. I want you to guide someone, but I won't ask you to do it without any reward. If you ever need assistance in the future, I will be there to help you. No questions asked. Guide someone? Who? Mr. Camage's grandson, Zen Camage. Oh, that kid. Sure, Ms. Tanner. You don't have to say such things. I'm happy to teach him. As Sophie's die-hard fan, Bertram wouldn't refuse anything she asked of him. Okay, once you settle things here, I'll have him come and follow you. No problem, he readily agreed. Why would there be a problem? I will do anything to assist Ms. Tanner as long as she needs help. Ms. Tanner, you should go back and get some rest. If Tristan discovered that Sophie had been waiting there for so long, he wouldn't let matters slide. Thus, Bertram quickly urged the woman to head back. You've been working really hard, so do get some rest too, Sophie said before retreating to her room. Upon seeing Sophie's return, Tristan deduced that she must have sorted everything out. It wasn't a significant matter in itself, but she cared about it due to its connection to Arthur. You can finally relax, Tristan remarked. Yes, it's better to personally convey the message. I feel more at ease knowing that Zen is entrusted to Bert, Sophie replied. Yeah, Bertram is a trustworthy man. Sophie sat on the couch and took out her phone. After seeing the news about Isabel's relationship, she casually clicked the like button. In reality, Felix was a worthy man for Isabel and deserved a public relationship with her. What the former desired was nothing more than a sense of security, after all. Are you reading the news about Felix and Isabel? Are you worried that it'll affect Isabel? They wasted no time in announcing their relationship as soon as they returned. She always cares about many things, but this isn't a big deal, right? Well, I don't think it's a problem. Isabel has always dreamed of becoming a singer, but she never saw herself as an idol. Singers can date and get married. Even if some fans might temporarily lose interest in her, Isabel would still be able to win everyone over with her talent in the long run. Well, good to know that you've confidence in her. If Sophie has such unwavering faith in Isabel, then there should be no cause for concern. Tristan had spent much of his time in Fandar planning for the wedding. He was especially looking forward to this once-in-a-lifetime event, where he would marry the woman he loved most. Hence, he certainly hoped the wedding ceremony would be perfect. The wedding outfit was ready, and they just needed to try it on when they returned. Sophie wanted a traditional Chinean wedding, so he had Chinean-style attires made for her. In the following days, Bertram made remarkable progress. They could resolve matters quickly when Sophie and Tristan were present. Within half a month, a new order had been established. No one dared to disrespect them from then on. Upon learning of Sophie's arrangements, Arthur felt even more grateful to her. It was true that regardless of how formidable others might be, one could only protect one's loved ones if one was powerful. Alas, they lacked such a person. Arthur had been worried about what would happen to them after he left, but given Bertram's willingness to guide Zen, the latter could lead the team in the future. Mr. Camage, what do you think about this arrangement? Sophie asked. Being under Bertram's tutelage would undoubtedly provide immense learning opportunities. However, it also came with certain risks. Such was the nature of society. In order to gain something, one must be prepared to make sacrifices. Thank you for making the arrangement, Ms. Tanner. I have nothing but gratitude. How could I possibly raise any objections? This was the best arrangement Arthur could hope for. Zen was fortunate to be able to learn from Bertram. Well, then it's settled. If you have any concerns in the future, just look for Bertram. He's trustworthy, Sophie affirmed. She had already explained everything to Bertram. Ms. Tanner, I'm truly grateful. You are our benefactor, and I don't know how to thank you. They yearned to find a meaningful way to express their appreciation to their benefactor. However, they had limited abilities and didn't know what they could do. There's no need for all that. You've also been a great help to me, Sophie replied gratefully. Without their assistance, finding Felix wouldn't have been that easy. Ms. Tanner, Mr. Tristan is a good man. and we believe that you will find happiness with him. Ms. Tanner is a good person. A person like her deserves everlasting happiness. Sophie responded, her thoughts momentarily stalling as she contemplated how to acknowledge the praises bestowed upon Tristan. The truth was undeniable. Tristan was indeed an exceptional man. Everything was set now that the decision was made. Upon learning that Tristan had entrusted him with the management of Fandar, Bertram felt a sense of urgency creeping in. He had always dedicated himself wholeheartedly to handling affairs in Fandar. However, he couldn't help but ask, "Are you sure about letting me manage Fandar, Mr. Tristan?" Everyone had their eyes set on this lucrative position. Hence, Tristan could have considered others for the role. "You deserve it. You have always been by my side, and your abilities are beyond doubt," Tristan reassured him. Bertram had always willingly supported Tristan and never intended to compete for these rewards. "Thank you, Mr. Tristan. Please rest assured. I will manage this place well so that you and Ms. Tanner will not be disappointed," Bertram stated solemnly. "I'll get someone to help you. Who do you wish to join you from Jipsdale?" Tristan couldn't help but worry that Bertram might not be able to handle the vast responsibilities alone. "I have the authority to make the decision." The latter was taken aback by the unexpected empowerment bestowed upon him. "That person will be working alongside you, so it's important to ensure that you two get along well. It would be awkward if two people, who disliked each other, were to work closely together. I'm actually fine with anyone, but since you are giving me an opportunity to choose who I work with, I will take some time to consider it." "All right." Arthur invited Sophie and Tristan over when he heard that they were leaving soon. The people in the tribal village had prepared their most formal ceremony to welcome them. Had it not been for Tristan's help, they would not have achieved the success they had. That was why they decided to give him the grandest welcome possible. Tristan felt that his efforts were worth it when he saw how grateful the villagers were. Arthur then fetched Sophie and Tristan 2 glasses of wine and said, "Mr. Tristan, this is part of our tribe's welcome ceremony. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation." Tristan and Sophie then took the wine glasses over from him. Back then, Tristan would never allow Sophie to consume alcohol at all. This time, however, he did not stop her because it was a special occasion. The two of them then downed their drinks in one go. Sophie had always believed in treating others the way she wanted to be treated, so she reciprocated the tribe's sincerity equally. As the people in the tribe trusted Sophie, it was only natural that they trusted Tristan as well. With Tristan calling the shots in Fandar, the tribal villagers felt glad that they no longer had to suffer the way they used to, and they expressed their feelings of happiness by dancing. It was simply that easy to satisfy the people in that tribe. Tristan and Sophie danced along with the tribal villagers. Being a conservative person, this was the first time Tristan had attempted a dance like this. Even so, the merry atmosphere was so enchanting that he found himself dancing along before he even realized it. Zen came up to them and said, "Thank you for everything you've done to help us, Ms. Tanner. We will remember it and do our best to repay you in the future. Those people robbed us and killed our people, but Ms. Tanner and the others are genuinely trying to help us. You are the hope of this village, Zen. Make sure to stay with Bert and study hard, okay?" Sophie told him patiently, "Don't worry, Ms. Tanner. I will study really hard with Bert. I won't let you all down. From now on, I will protect this tribe." As such, he was determined to become more powerful so he could protect the ones he cared about. "I know you are an ambitious child, and I believe you have what it takes to accomplish your goal." Sophie took great care of Zen because he was Arthur's grandson. "Thank you very much for helping us out, Ms. Tanner," Arthur said while raising his wine glass. "Come on now. There's no need for thanks between us," Sophie replied while clinking glasses with him. The fact that she managed to do something for the tribe was enough to make her happy. "Ms. Tanner is a really sweet girl, Mr. Tristan. Make sure to treat her right, okay?" Arthur said. He knew that Tristan was a decent man, but he still felt the urge to say that anyway. Perhaps that was something old men like him would often do. Tristan held Sophie's hand as he assured the older man, Don't worry, Mr. Cammage. I will be sure to treasure her deeply. I will never mistreat her. Sophie was the love of his life, so Tristan would never allow her to be hurt in the slightest. Tristan and Sophie stayed till it was late at night, so Bertram came over to pick them up. Being an old man, Arthur went to sleep after having a few more drinks. "Hi, Mr. Asher," Zen called out to Bertram respectfully when he came to send them off. Bertram flashed Zen a smile and had a brief chat with him before driving off. "Help me look after this tribe whenever you're in Fandar, Bert." Sophie had developed a liking for the tribe. "Sure thing, Ms. Tanner. Don't you worry. I won't let anyone get hurt as long as I'm here," Bertram replied confidently. Sophie rested her head against Tristan's shoulder. "I wonder when we'll come back here again." Noticing the depressed look on her face, Tristan held her hand and said, "We can always come here whenever you feel like it." A long-haul flight was all it would take for them to get there. Yeah. Most of the tribal villagers came to send Tristan and Sophie off when they left the next day. "Best wishes to you all." A warm smile spread across Arthur's face when he heard Sophie's words. "The dark days are over. From now on, everything is going to be all right. Don't worry, Ms. Tanner. We'll be just fine." Zen chased after the car from behind as it drove off. He liked Sophie very much, and he would have left with her if he didn't have a duty to uphold. Of course, there was no way he could catch up to a car on foot. It didn't take long before he disappeared from the rearview mirror of the SUV. Zen had never cried a day in his life. He was too young to feel sad when his parents passed away, so he didn't cry back then. However, he felt really upset when he saw Sophie and the others leave. Looking at the tribal villagers through the rearview mirror, Sophie couldn't help feeling melancholic. She had always wished nothing but the best for them. The plane for the return flight had already been prepared by the time they arrived at the airport. Bertram was personally escorting them onto the plane when Tristan said, "Be extra careful now that you're on your own here, Bertram. Contact me immediately if you ever run into any problems that you can't resolve on your own. Those bastards are no pushover. They have only temporarily submitted to us. Don't worry, Mr. Tristan. I will be sure to head back and attend your wedding." Bertram reassured him. After all, those two were the people he looked up to the most. Tristan patted him on the shoulder. "All right. I'll arrange for a plane to pick you up when the time comes. You can head back now. Can I add you on WhatsApp, Ms. Tanner?" Bertram asked cautiously. Sophie whipped out her phone, pulled up her QR code, and held it up in front of Bertram. The man got so worked up that his hands were trembling when he scanned the QR code. Tristan let out a chuckle when he saw how excited Bertram was. The fact that his comrades genuinely liked Sophie was not lost on Tristan. Bertram was grinning from ear to ear after adding Sophie on WhatsApp. Tristan then boarded the plane with her as it was about time for it to take off. Meanwhile, Bertram stood there and waited until their plane was out of sight before heading back. It was already past midnight by the time Tristan and Sophie arrived in Chonaea. They didn't tell anyone about their return as they wanted to head back and get some sleep. However, they saw Isabel, Felix, Sean, and Charles waiting for them at the airport. "We didn't tell you guys about our return, so how did you guys know we were coming back?" They had chosen not to tell anyone because they didn't want them to come to pick them up this late. Isabel stepped forward and hugged Sophie as she replied, "We have our ways of finding out." Unbeknownst to the two, Bertram had made a post about their return on Instagram. All they had to do was give him a call to ask about the couple's flight schedule. "I've missed you so much, Sophie." Although they had only been separated for a little over a week, Isabel felt as though it had been a year. That was a feeling men would never understand. "Welcome back." Sean had been really busy lately, but he came over to welcome them home anyway. "Why did so many of you have to come to pick us up? And you, Isabel? There is news about you all over the internet. You should be laying low at home instead." Tristan yelled at them in annoyance. "Why are you so mean to me, Uncle Tristan? I only came here because I missed Sophie. I wouldn't have bothered to come if it was just you who came back. Isabel snapped back at him. In other words, they were only there because of Sophie. Felix wrapped an arm around Isabel's waist in a protective manner and said, "Hey, Mr. Tristan. My girlfriend is just as precious as yours, so be nice to her, okay?" Sophie let out a chuckle when she heard that. "He's just tired, that's all. Come on, let's go home. People might think something big is going down in Jipsdale if they see you all here." "We only came because we haven't seen you two in a long time," Isabel mumbled with a pout. "Honestly, Uncle Tristan sure is a petty one. He has been hogging Sophie all to himself for so long. Is that not enough? Let's go. The conversation will never end if everyone keeps chiming in like this." They had arrived at the airport in 3 separate cars, so Sophie and Tristan went back to Sean's car. It wasn't until they arrived at the mansion that Tristan realized the others had followed them home. "What are you guys doing? Are you all not planning on sleeping tonight? They know that we're tired, so why would they follow us all the way home? We just thought you two would be hungry after getting off the plane, so we brought tons of food over. Let's eat up before going to bed. My Aunt Sarah made you some soup too. She would have come as well if she weren't so busy. What do you think, Sophie? Am I the best friend you've ever had?" Isabel figured Sophie hadn't been eating well during her time in Fandar, so she had brought a huge amount of food over. In fact, Sophie was the only reason Isabel was willing to sacrifice her beauty sleep and rush over to the airport. The group then made their way into the mansion and had supper together. It had been a long time since they had a meal together, so Isabel treasured every second of it. "I wish we can be together like this forever." As Sarah had gone through the trouble of making that soup for them, Sophie decided to have some even though she wasn't all that hungry. "By the way, Grandpa knows about your return and wants you two to head over for lunch tomorrow," Isabel said while filling Sophie's bowl with soup. "Got it." Sophie and Tristan had spent quite a long time in Fandar, so it was about time they went back to pay William a visit. The others helped themselves to some of the food and cleaned up the table after they were done eating. "It's really late now, so we'll throw that welcoming party some other day," Sean said as he and Charles left the mansion. Tristan shifted his gaze back toward Felix and Isabel, who were still standing there, and asked, "What about you two? Shouldn't you two be going home as well? How much longer do you two plan on sticking around? Honestly, why are these two always like this? But it's really late now, Uncle Tristan. You guys have spare rooms here, so we'll be staying over tonight." Since they would head straight to bed after going home anyway, Isabel and Felix decided to just spend the night at the mansion instead. In fact, they never planned on going home that night, to begin with. Tristan found himself at a loss for words. "What? I've had enough of these two. They have no respect for boundaries whatsoever. Now. It's really late, so let's just all go to our rooms and get some sleep. We can continue this conversation tomorrow." Since there were indeed spare rooms available, Sophie decided to let them stay the night. Tristan didn't even feel like saying anything further at that point. "What can I say, anyway? I know you're really tired, Sophie. Don't worry. I won't disturb you tonight." Although Isabel had lots of things that she wanted to tell Sophie, she knew better than to do so that night. Sophie had just gotten off a long-haul flight at midnight, so Isabel didn't want to keep her up any longer. "Okay." Tristan and Sophie went upstairs after that. "It's not like we don't have a place of our own. Why did you insist on staying here? Did you not see the look on Tristan's face earlier?" Felix asked while pulling Isabel into a hug. "I wanted to spend some more time with Sophie. You and I will have plenty of time together once we get married anyway." Isabel replied, "Sure thing. Go on then. Brush your teeth and get ready for bed. Otherwise, you're going to have dark circles around your eyes tomorrow." Felix reminded her. Since Isabel was a celebrity, it was important for her to take care of her appearance. She nodded. "Yeah, you're right. I need to get my beauty rest." Sophie had just stepped out of the bathroom when she saw Tristan sitting on her bed. "What's wrong? Aren't you tired? You should go take a shower and get some rest, she said while plopping down next to him. Tristan wrapped an arm around her shoulder and pulled her into his embrace as he replied, I wanted to wish you good night before going to my room. A sweet smile spread across Sophie's face when she heard that. I can't believe how easy it is for him to fill my heart with warmth. He sure is getting better at this. There, you've done what you came to do. Now, hurry up and go to bed. All right. You should get some rest too. Don't use your phone too much. It's bad for your spine. Okay, I won't. My goodness. He's acting just like a dad. Tristan hugged her tightly and gave her a few kisses on the lips. Soon, you'll become my wife. In the end, Tristan stopped whatever he was doing and left after uttering that sentence. Sophie lay on the bed. Despite feeling exhausted, she could not fall asleep after hearing what the man said. That's right. I'll soon be his wife and the mother of his child. We'll surely live a good life together. Having turned in late the night before, the four of them only woke up at about 11 o'clock in the morning. As such, they skipped breakfast altogether. Isabel was rudely awakened by her ringing phone. Initially, she was livid and wanted to curse, but when she realized it was Sarah, she could only hide her dissatisfaction and answer the call. Hello, Aunt Sarah. We aren't awake yet. Yeah, we slept too late last night. All right, I got it. After hanging up the phone, Isabel went back to sleep again. Lunch. Nothing is more important than sleep right now. Seeing the groggy look on her face, Felix burst into a chuckle. This silly girl. How can she be so adorable? He approached the bed and carried her up. That's enough. It's time to wake up. Your grandpa is coming if you continue sleeping. Felix scooped her into his embrace as he spoke. However, Isabel was not amused. Stop it, Felix. Let me sleep a while longer, will you? Just a while more. I haven't had enough sleep. I'll wake up when I'm done sleeping. All right. Don't sleep anymore. You already skipped breakfast. It won't be good for your stomach if you skip lunch now. You all. Why do you all say the same thing? Fine. I got it. Isabel tried to open her eyes. Still, it was tough for her to do so. Seeing her like that, Felix planted a kiss on her. The kiss left Isabel so suffocated that she finally sobered up. Without hesitation, she reciprocated and kissed him back. She had a growing fondness for kissing recently. Well, it actually feels pretty good. They were so indulged in the intimate moment, and unable to hold back his urges any longer, Felix slid his hand into Isabel's dress. At that exact moment, a knock sounded at the door. Isabel, are you awake? Tristan's voice rang out. Felix jerked in surprise. Oh right. This is Mr. Tristan's territory, and Isabel is his niece. He halted his movements immediately. Yes. Hold on for a while. I'm almost done. Isabel would not have bothered to respond had it been someone else, but since it was Tristan, she was being rather obedient. That scared me. Isabel patted her chest after hearing the footsteps grow faint. Shall we continue? She deliberately asked after seeing the look on Felix's face. Felix began putting on clothes for her. Continue what? Just you wait. I'll deal with you after we're married. If a man truly liked a woman, he would try his best to protect her no matter how strong his desires were. He was a little rough while helping her wear her clothes. Are you venting your anger on me? Be gentler. You're hurting me. Isabel chuckled. Deep down, she was delighted. I guess I'm still attractive to him. When the two finished tidying themselves up and headed out, Tristan and Sophie were already waiting in the living room. Though they had all slept late the night before, Tristan and Sophie seemed lively and energetic after a night's sleep. Isabel was the only one in low spirits. How can there be such a vast difference between one human and the other? We're all humans. Why are you two so outstanding? She grumbled. They're definitely non-human. Could it be that I'm the only ordinary being out of everyone here? All right. Let's go. It's time to head back. Tristan had enough of her nonsense. How can she still have the nerve to ramble so nonsensically after sleeping in? Believing that Tristan found her annoying again, Isabel hurried over and wrapped her arms around Sophie's. Sophie, I knew you love me the most in this world. You're the only one who doesn't think that I'm a bother. Let's go and have lunch back home. Yeah, I don't think that way. I'm used to it anyway. Isabel was rendered speechless. Am I that terrible? Lunch was ready by the time the four arrived at the Lombard residence. William, who had been waiting at the door, immediately pretended to be busy when he saw their arrival. Obviously, there was no way he was not concerned about Tristan and Sophie for what they were doing at Fandar, even though he understood that they had the right to do what they wanted to do. Then again, he still could not stop worrying for them. We're back, old Mr. Lombard. Don't worry. Tristan isn't injured. Sophie stepped out of the car and took the initiative to greet William. Well, who cares about him? He doesn't even give us a call when he's away. Is there a need for me to be concerned about him? William snapped. At this point, Tristan also got out of the car and walked toward William. Dad, there are too many matters to deal with at Fandar, so I didn't have time to call you. All right, everyone is hungry. Let's head in for lunch. The father and son duo was not fond of displaying affection, to begin with, but the truth was, they cared a lot about each other. Upon hearing they were hungry, William quickly headed inside to set the table. Sarah brought the last dish out from the kitchen and ushered everyone over. After settling down, she said, Sophie, you've gotten thinner again. Girls shouldn't get too skinny. I got it, Sarah, but this is what my physique is like. I wasn't quite used to living in Fandar, and that's how I lost some weight. Sophie had great adaptability, but at the same time, she was someone who could lose weight easily. How about you move back here with Tristan? I'll have the kitchen prepare delicious food for you every day so that you can put on more weight, William suggested. They're almost getting married, and then they'll start making babies after that. It's not good for her to be so skinny. Sophie glanced at Tristan. Move back here. But it's too far from our workplace. It'll be inconvenient if we move here. Dad, we're doing fine living on our own. It's not too convenient for us to move back, Tristan said to his father. What's not convenient? You both own a car and can drive to work. Is it that you don't wish to live with me? Dad, it's better for us to live alone. Besides, I'll take good care of her. Are you trying to tell me that you don't intend to move back and live with me after you two get married? William suddenly lost his appetite. Sensing that William was mad, Sarah tried to ease the tension by saying, Dad, it's not a bad idea for them to live on their own. That way, you'll be able to get a grandchild sooner. That's what you look forward to anyway, right? Isabel, who was drinking water, almost spat the water out. Sophie is only 20 years old. Don't tell me they want her to have a baby that soon? Isn't that a little too fast? True enough. William no longer dwelled on that matter after hearing Sarah's words. Indeed, I want a grandchild should let them do whatever they want.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.